What's good, everybody? KhunShawn here, and we're back talking about Twitch's rules against VTubers. It's been a while since we've seen Rev, and I was like, let's go ahead and check out what Rev has to say about the rules that are being in place. That is pretty much not fair. We talked about it in the podcast before, but I figured we go ahead and make a short video about it as well. Let's talk about it.
Hey, what's up, guys? Rick here. So today we're going to talk about Twitch because yesterday they came out and clarified some of their enforcement policies, and right now it is obvious more than ever that they have it out for VTubers, which is ironic because only a week ago we saw Iron Mouse shatter the all-time sub record, and yet VTubers are still being treated second rate, especially when it comes to the enforcement of the site's policies. We've seen recently Zentreya get a warning on her account for sexual themes because she wore a one-piece swimsuit for a brief moment. Meanwhile, slop like this is being recommended.
Whoa, 4,000 viewers? Okay, yeah, I'm pretty sure they knew about this, bro. There's no way you got 4,000 people watching this and not nobody in Twitch know about it. That's crazy.
By the platform where you have people bending the rules, these face cameras.
That's crazy.
Who are just crudely placing an inflatable pool in the corner of the room, calling it a pool stream, and then
they're not even in the pool.
Wear basically micro bikinis, and then on the right, I can't even show you a camera that is focused on her behind where she's wearing a thong, and the camera lens is pressed up against her so deep it's practically touching her colon at this point. But this is allowed, but the other stuff...
Yo, that's crazy. So you can do that, but YouTubers can't show their hips. Yeah, no, the hypocrisy is absolutely insane.
Is highly contested.
Absolutely insane, dude.
For very draconian ways, and it's always been obvious that they have preferential treatment for cam girls versus VTubers, but now it's more obvious than ever.
100%, man. A lot of these VTubers, they always get, like Shondo, perfect example. Somebody that always gets slapped around by Twitch moderation. Like, she got drunk and they were like, oh yeah, let's go ahead and ban her for her own safety. What kind of BS is this? Yeah, they're definitely playing favorites. And honestly, I can't blame them. The IRL woman is hot.
And now with these clarifications,
she's hot.
Objective reality where it seems like what's on the left here is less likely to get banned than what's on the right. So yesterday, Twitch came out with these clarifications. These are not any new rules or anything like that. It's more clarification and examples of things that may or may not violate their rules. And it really just shows the kind of stuff they've been doing behind the scenes and the bans that people have received without understanding the reason as to why. So let's begin with this right here. This is the most relevant one for VTubers, and I think
we talked about this in the
abused by a lot of Twitch moderators and people who are part of that team. I think they're going to use this to take it out and ban multiple VTubers that they don't like. They can use this. It's very exploitative, and I'll explain why. So it says this: depicting fictional anime characters of childlike appearances, lollies, and shotas with any type of sexual framing is not allowed. This applies to VTubers and within games where avatars are uploaded, such as VR chat, with childlike avatars, even if the broadcaster and operator of the avatar is above the age of 18. So right off the bat, you know you're dealing with a difficult rule when it's very subjective. What does childlike really mean?
Petite women.
Speaking? Because does that...
They're talking about petite women.
Outfits, petite models.
Yes, that's exactly what they're targeting.
Well, it might change from one person to the other, but the other issue here is that they're using the phrases lollies and shotas, where I would guess that a lot of Twitch staff don't understand the proper definition of those terms. It has nothing to do with age or anything like that. That's why characters like Rebecca from Cyberpunk are a lolly, and a lot of people go, wait, she's like in her 20s. Well, yeah, these terms have nothing to do with age. It's just a body type with cute characteristics. That's why the creators themselves refer to characters like Rebecca as a lolly. However, there's a lot of misinformation and hysteria surrounding fictional content on places like Twitter, where a lot of people have gotten improper definitions of these terms. And again, I would imagine a lot of the people working on Twitch staff probably have similar bits of misinformation guiding them on these terms. And you couple that with the fact that they're using a very subjective phrase like childlike appearance to judge these YouTubers and possibly ban their accounts. In fact, there's also this language about sexual framing, and we have an idea, I guess, of what that might entail. Apparently, it sounds like Fallen Shadow's first ban back in July might have been based on this reason because she had a toggle to show her VTuber model's feet. And by the way,
Huh.
also her model is
Feet.
designed to resemble herself in real life because she's very petite. So basically, Twitch is calling her a child, which is a very odd thing.
Yeah,
But
it is
anyways, the
weird. That's a
next
grown
rule
ass
is
woman.
also adding some clarification. It's the attire policy, basically saying that the attire of your VTuber
Attire
model
policy.
is
Yeah, we
under the
talked
same
about this as
standards
well.
as face cameras, which is not something people
And
were
those
unaware of.
standards,
But there's one important
bro, those standards aren't even the same because apparently they're not even holding IRL streamers to the same type of standards, right? You want to hold them by the same type of merit, but you have people legitimately just showing their like thongs on camera. So what's the big deal if VTubers start showing their thongs? And plus, they're not even real. They're 2D. So their thongs shouldn't even be as aggressive as the IRL streamers. Yet the IRL streamers are getting away with it. Make it make sense. You can't.
new piece of information that might have gotten a lot of VTubers banned recently, which is hips. You have to cover up
That's
the
crazy.
hips of your VTuber model, which is definitely one of the reasons why so many VTubers have been getting suspended recently because they have been showing their hips under the false assumption that it was allowed. And the problem is, up until now, Twitch doesn't give actual specific reasons that you are banned. They only give you a
No, they
general
just,
reason like
yeah.
sexual content, but they don't
Sexual
tell you
content, but they don't
what
tell you
exactly
what
was
happened.
wrong with
They
your
don't tell
VTuber
you
model that got you in trouble in
when,
the first place.
where.
And for a
Yeah.
lot of people, it definitely was this hip coverage rule that people just flat out weren't aware of. And on top of that, you see a very weird addition right here saying these guidelines, referring to attire, apply to VTuber models but not video game characters, including those uploaded into games
Which doesn't
such
make
as VR
sense.
chat, which as can
Like, you're going to make a rule, but you don't make the rule, like, you don't enforce it across the board. It's like they make a rule specifically targeting individuals. But these other people do something very similar, but it's okay because it's a third party type of like character. Like Aphrodite, I used this example before, like Aphrodite in God of War. Very sexual character, right? Has cleavage, hips are showing, a huge butt, but it's okay because this is a third party character from another company. This isn't a V2 model that somebody designed and created, and it's their character. This is something that's been backed by a big company like Sony or something, or whatever game developer or a game development company backed it, which is kind of insane. So, let me think about this. Now, I just thought about this. Would you be able to get around this if you're a game designer and you create a V2 model? I mean, technically speaking, we're playing loosely with the rules because the rules aren't even enforced properly. So it's not even making sense regardless.
points out here, this is very, very bizarre. What is the difference between a VTuber model, a 2D VTuber model uploaded through VTube Studio, for example, versus a 3D model through VR chat? Like, what is the difference? Why is
That's a
one
good
getting
question.
additional rules than the other? It
That's
makes
a
no sense. And
good
also,
question.
they use the VR chat example because they say it's like you're playing a video game. Well, I'm using
Okay.
VTube Studio, which is considered a video game by
Like, yeah,
Sony, for
bro, it's in
example,
Steam.
and that's how I get this model right here that you're looking at now.
Oh
So
man,
why
it's
is
a
this so
video
much different
game. What
than
the
VR chat? It's
bro?
very confusing, and also it leads way to someone possibly just getting a 3D VTuber model and then just claiming it's in VR chat. And is Twitch supposed to somehow enforce that? I'm not sure.
That's
But
a good
anyways, a lot of
question.
people
We'll
are
know
starting
when
to
we
come up
get
with
not the oh
Twitch.
man. Bro, not people wearing the hijab. Oh man.
Appropriate VTuber
How many
models. And
people
all
got mad
jokes
at
aside, this
this?
is what it feels like for some people. The rules are extra for VTubers.
That's
When you
crazy.
have stuff like
Wow.
this
Wow. Oh my goodness. You can have this on Twitch? Oh man.
existing and being promoted on the platform, I can barely even show you any of these screenshots because
Because
everything
YouTube will
is
take this
so
down.
explicit. They
That's
talk
crazy.
about sexual framing in the rules about VTubers, but talk about framing here. The framing of the game covering about 10% of the screen. Meanwhile, the rest is all just a ploy to
A cleavage
exploit the hot
and
tub rules where cam girls like to
bro,
simply just toss an inflatable pool in the corner of their room, which allows them to wear very skimpy bikinis and even have a camera dedicated to being pointed.
bro, I'm just so confused. Like, how can you have this on the website? But VTubers, they can't even show their hips, bro. It's not making sense. Like legitimately, like there's no way you can defend this. There's no way you could be working at Twitch and be like, hmm, I don't get why they're upset. Like, bro, look at the example. And like they don't even really ban these people. Like they'll give them a timeout for like a day or two and then they come back and do the same thing. And then unless people get outraged about it, they just act like it is what it is. They're making us money. Uh, bro, the VTubers can make you money too. The VTubers can be the 2D girls. They can look good. They can go into 3D. They can make the jiggle fishes. They can make you money too, bro. But why are you targeting the 2D people? I don't get it. I just don't legitimately, bro. I cannot wrap my head around it. If anybody can try and wrap their head around why Twitch would be okay with this, but not VTubers, yo, leave it in the comment section below because I'd be interested to read it because it ain't gonna make sense to me.
At their behind, which is basically
this is crazy,
a thong, so you're seeing just about everything.
And the crazy thing is, I don't even have a problem with this. Like, if anything, I think Twitch should definitely go ahead and just brand themselves as, like, do whatever it is that you need to do to make it. And if they want to be more brand friendly, have a different site called Twitch Kids or some shit. Like how YouTube has YouTube Kids, make a Twitch Kids or make a Twitch Adult. You know what I'm saying? Make a Twitch 8. So you either make a Twitch Kids or you make a Twitch 18 plus. Because either one of these would be a good solution. So you could have stuff like this on the platform because it works. Right? How many people was watching it? The other one had 4,000 concurrent viewers. 4,000 concurrent viewers, that's a lot of money, right? We ain't talking about 4,000 views. We talking about 4,000 concurrent people stroking their meat. That's a lot of money. Y'all okay with it. Y'all not throwing it away. But when the VTubers do it, there's an issue. That's the point. That's the part that's eating me up. That's the part I just don't get it, bro. I don't get it, bro.
It's a very popular trend right now.
I don't get it
on Twitch. This is somehow allowed, but then we have all these draconian extra rules for VTubers. And that's the issue. It's the enforcement of these rules.
It's not fair.
On top of that. And some people just don't get that. And I don't understand.
Yes, that's me.
Saying
that's Evan.
VTubers wanted it to be treated similarly to flesh tubers. Twitch updated their policies to reflect that. Now VTubers don't want that. Help me understand.
Bro, it's not bro, Evan, ain't no way. This is a L Evan take, bro. I mean, I don't really watch Evan, so I don't know how many L takes this guy has. Y'all let me know in the comments below. But bro, this is the most L take ever because this shit is not even fair, right? VTubers want to be treated similar to flesh tubers. That means we wanted more inclusivity, not have more targets on our back. Come on, dog. You in the VTube community, bro. You supposed to be standing up for us. What whose side are you on? What is it, Benedict Arnold?
Help me understand how someone in the VTubing scene doesn't understand why VTubers are so upset.
That's crazy.
Enforcement of the rules. Even if the rules were 1-to-1.
Evan, how?
For flesh tubers versus VTubers.
If the rules were 1-to-1, VTubers wouldn't be getting attacked. Because apparently the rules when it comes to flesh tubing, it's totally fine to be showing your ass and your chesticles. You know what I'm saying? So if the VTubers, they should be able to show their ass and chesticles as well. Am I right or am I wrong?
It's the enforcement of those rules. It's clearly bias towards cam girls. VTubers are punished. They have the book thrown at them every time they have a possible violation. But cam girls get away with just about anything. And their punishments are nowhere near what VTubers get. I have seen now over the past couple of months, multiple VTubers get week-long or month-long suspensions for their hips showing on their model.
Bro.
And yet, only 2 years ago, we have examples like this where a cam girl literally had intercourse on camera and only got a 1
Hey man, where the clips at?
Week suspension. In fact, there are multiple OnlyFans girls on
crazy.
Twitch who are
Of course.
Their 13th, 14th, and 15th ban on Twitch. And
of course. I mean, like, bro, there is no real consequences. Like as Rev says, 13th ban. You're on your 13th ban. Bro, I thought it was like 3 strikes you're out and you're permaban. Like, you making thousands of dollars basically getting your back blown out, right? And then you just get a 7-day vacation. And then you get to go spend that money where you got your back blown out. And then 7 days later, you come back and you get your back blown out again. You make a couple more thousands of dollars. Like, bro, you making more money than the average streamer that's just playing video games doing this. And this is a good strat, apparently, because you get a vacation on top of it.
Yeah, they have never
make it make sense.
A suspension longer than 3 days.
Make it make sense, bro.
Any of this makes sense.
Well,
a lot of people
I can't tell you.
Looking at these new rules or these clarifications, and they're saying, wait, here's a Twitch W right here. And they're referring to this part about swim and beaches, concerts and festivals. To sum it up, basically, they're making it clear that if you properly flag your content as being a pool, hot tubs, and beaches category, you can have even more revealing outfits.
Well,
And
yeah, if
that's
you're at the
something
beach,
that is already
sure.
being
If you're at
taken
the
advantage
pool,
of by a
sure.
lot of cam girls on the website. But
Of
I point this
course.
out because it all seems like so ridiculous, all these hoops that they're making for these rules and these exceptions they're trying to create. So are you telling me, based on this, if Zentreya had a PNG of a beach in the background of her
Hey,
stream, she
that's a
wouldn't
good
have gotten in
idea.
trouble
Hey, that's
for
a good
wearing a
idea.
one piece swimsuit?
Zentreya,
Like, make it make
that's a,
sense. Like, this is why
that's a good
those cam.
idea. Hey, Rev, you low key cooking and you don't even realize it, bro. That's a good idea. Because, I mean, at this point, you might as well just, like, the game is not fair. The game is rigged for you to fail. So you might as well cheat so you can win, right? Put that beach PNG, have your V2 bikini on, and just rake in the dough. Because technically, you at the beach. I mean, you're not like, and that's the crazy part. Like, it's V2, it's 2D. They are not real. They're not real, but you flag them and ban them as if they were real people. So if we have a PNG of a beach, even though that beach ain't real, technically speaking, they should be able to get away with it because VTube's not real to begin with. You know what I'm saying? So if we play in imagination land, we might as well play all the way.
Girls are taking advantage of the pools and
This is
hot
crazy.
tubs rule by just putting
Bro, I knew watching Rev was going to be a good video. This is a great video. Hit the like button, subscribe if you knew.
a blow up pool in the corner of the room and saying, yep, now I can wear a bikini and do whatever I want. That's who's going to take advantage of these clarifications. But now
People
you're
are already
showing like
taking
how
advantage
like
of it.
fickle and complicated all these rules are for seemingly no reason. And on top of that, there's another rule I want to cover here, which really just goes the next level. It says static or slightly animated artwork for scenes such as stream starting, be right
BRB
back,
gotta
and stream ending
adhere to
artwork must
guidelines.
follow
That's
all of
crazy.
our guidelines. And based on
Okay,
my
sure.
interpretation, does it sounds like they're
Okay,
saying that that sort of artwork has to follow the attire policy too, which
okay.
is insane. So
I
now
mean,
the
sure.
artwork of your BRB screen has to follow these
I
extra
mean, sure.
clarifications. It's
Okay.
really, really an insane standard, and also one that seems to
It's random.
disproportionately target VTubers. A lot of face cammers, they have animated BRB screens and stuff like that, but
Yeah.
I VTubers who have those, especially featuring their own VTuber models. So once
Mhm.
again, this rule targets VTubers a lot harder than your traditional cam streamer, which is again showing that they
Which
have
it
it out
does. They are
for
targeting. Yeah.
VTubers.
Of
And
course. Of
overall,
course they're targeting
it's not
VTubers.
just obvious that the enforcement is different. A lot of people are actively ignoring that there are extra rules for VTubers. There's a lot of them, and a
Yeah.
lot of very
I wouldn't doubt it.
subjective and open-ended ones that could really be applied to a very high portion of VTubers if given if these rules are being applied by a particular person on the Twitch staff. They can really bend some of those rules involving VTubers to punish just about anyone or label their content as childlike or something like that. And I think it's a very dangerous road that we're all going to see unfold in front of us. I think some of these
Punishing new
clarifications are
technology.
going to be abused by the Twitch staff who already clearly have it out for VTubers. And I think on top of that, the enforcement continues to be hypocritical. And there's no
I think the big issue here is there's a lot of us versus them mentality. The Twitch staff and the IRL versus the VTube, right? I remember back when like the VTube thing was starting to pop, like a lot of people started doing VTube because they thought it was fun or whatnot. Like when Pokimane made her avatar and all this stuff, right? Everybody thought it was fun. But then I think a lot of IRL people were getting mad at VTube because, IRL streamers were getting in trouble for having like the hot tub meta and all that other stuff, right? I remember they were getting in trouble at some point in time. And then eventually, like it came to light that, I ain't gonna say nothing crazy because I don't want to get in trouble. But basically, somebody very prominent in the Twitch scene got in trouble, but behind the scenes, she knew somebody at the company, you know which one, and they were able to get her out of being in trouble. I'm not going to say no names, but if you know your history, then you know who I'm talking about. Anyways, a lot more people found out about that and they were like, yo, what is this? It's not fair, blase, blase. And what did the company do? they ignored it. They didn't really care. They was like, oh, they found out. Oh well, right? That doesn't stop them from being corrupt. You feel me? Corruption is everywhere, right? Whether it's on this website or it's in the government, corruption is corruption, point blank, period. And it exists, right? I think we should get rid of it. I think these people should be terminated and let go of their career, but they're probably too far high into the system for that to actually legitimately happen, which is a damn shame, right? So now this website looks like a freaking joke. And at the same time, when the VTube thing started becoming more popular, the VTubers were getting away with a lot of crazy stuff too. There were VTubers that were, creating like triple, quadruple D unga boonga bagoongas, right? And they were jiggling them, having the toggles with the tongues out and the sweat and everything. And at the same time, like that stuff is going to create arousal, whether it's real or not, right? Like the whole time I'm talking about like VTube isn't real. Like yes, VTube is not real, but these genitalia that's being shown creates arousal, whether you want it to or not for specific people. Like just looking at a screen, if you see breast, you might get aroused. Like that's a human thing. You see breast, you get aroused. It just is what it is, right? So regardless if it's 2D or 3D or IRL or whatever, right? These things cause a certain type of feeling inside humans, and for some reason, as humans, we like to say that this is a bad thing, that arousal is not good, and like we should not monetize it or capitalize off it or whatever, right? That's why a lot of advertisers, they don't want to advertise on platforms that are more risque and adult because we just have a taboo of just sex in general. I don't get it. I think it's an American thing because as I traveled the world, there's people that just like the Germans. Shout out to the Germans because they don't care, bro. Like they'll have a Playboy magazine in the airport with titties out, and it just is what it is, right? If you're interested, you buy it. If you're not interested, you don't buy it, right? Very straightforward, very simple. But for some reason, Twitch, they want to go after VTubers because of this reason, which is understandable. So they started hitting them just like they were hitting the IRL, which is what I think Evan was trying to point to when he talks about inclusivity. But at the same time, there's a difference between, okay, IRL's getting hit for being risque, so VTube should get hit for being risque versus IRL's getting hit for being risque, VTube get hits with risque, and on top of that, VTube gets an extra couple rules because it's different. Honestly, I think it stifles technology, and I think it gets in the way of a lot of progress. I think a lot of people need to like look at themselves first and then try and look outwards, because at the end of the day, like the Twitch staff that's doing these bannings, especially like targeting Shondo for specific, like specifically Shondo, I think they have a personal vendetta against Shondo, and they just have to, because it's not making sense how you're making all these rules, especially towards being like petite women. Legitimately, are getting slapped with extra rules because they're petite women, right? I don't know if they're trying to stand on some social justice when it comes to lollies and shotas, right? Because lollies and shotas are not real, right? These are not real things. And I get like shout out to Rose and Blue. She left a comment talking about, oh, they're trying to make sure they don't get in trouble with like the government act of whatever that the government enforced. And it's like, sure, I mean, that's legitimately a possibility. I mean, is it realistic? Maybe not, but sure, let's go ahead and go with that. But at the end of the day, these things are not real. They're not real. So you're punishing real things, but then you're punishing things that aren't real even worse than you're punishing real things, which that's the point for me. It doesn't make sense. You're going to punish something that is not real, something that is more fictional than versus the IRL actual thing. And there's an issue just in general when it comes to monetizing risque content, but on this site, they're apparently okay with risque content. They'll ban them for like 3 days, maybe seven. But the fictional content gets banned and it gets subpoenaed way worse than real stuff. And that's the point. That's the part I don't get. Anyways, that's the video. Rev, you
No
got anything else to
overlooking this
say?
stuff. It is just pure hypocrisy. Cam
Yeah.
streamers are
True.
treated completely differently than VTubers, and now
True.
we know some of the clarifications as to why that might be happening and how so many of these cam streamers are getting away with behavior that would normally get a VTuber temporarily suspended or even worse. But for now, that's going to do it for this video. As always, feel free to share your thoughts about today's topics in the comments section down below. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you next time.
Yeah. 100%. So yeah, that like literally It's not making sense. So I just did a whole deep dive of the entire situation of V2 versus IRL. So if you enjoyed the video, if you have anything to add to the conversation, hit the like button and then go down there in the comment section and let me know your thoughts down below. Definitely be interested to read it because I just tackled like 8 different points of view. So if you got something different, please let me know. I'd be interested to check it out. Anyways, it's your boy KhunShawn, man. Y'all be safe out here in the internet land. And until next time, I'll see you guys when I see you guys. Peace.